lovely Burleigh Girls students here today. I have been teaching for over 20 years and marking the HSC for just about that long, so that means I've seen lots of interesting answers and some that where students could get the right mark by just maybe knowing a few little tips. So that's what I'm hoping today will bring out for you. Okay, so let's start by looking at the first overhead, and it's HSC preparation. So this is last week of term 2, and you've got the holidays coming up, but for year 12 it's not really a holiday because you've got the trials in about week 3 and you've got the HSC in less than 4 months. So I want you to just go back, girls, and have a look at these topics here. You did them back last year in year 11, and maybe you've got to realise when we look at a paper pretty soon that you're going to be examined on both the preliminary and the HSC topics. So what I wanted you to just do is to pick up a pen, look at those topics, put a tick next to the ones that you think are okay, and then a cross next to those ones that you think needs work. Obviously the ones that you think needs work, you're going to be planning on doing some revision over the holidays. So the important thing is you need to prioritise. You need to think about what you need to study, and in doing that we need to look at, like I said, this is our study timetable. You're going to have on your HSC timetable and you're going to have your trial timetable. What I wanted you to put down on this one was when the exam is on and what it's worth. Now, some exams might be worth 25%. I'm not picking on art here by saying 3%, but the reason I did this was a student many years ago had sort of said, no, can't study for anything else. I have art here and it's out of 300. What she found out in the end was that what might have been out of 300, it was actually worth 3%. So in terms of her priorities, art really wasn't her major priority. She needed to be really concentrating on these exams that were worth a lot more. So when you're putting your study timetable together, or when you're putting your exam timetable together, make sure you put the time and make sure you put what it's worth, and make sure that that's up next to your desk or wherever you study. You need to get organised. You need to get your, if you're into colour coding, your folders out with English, maths, whatever. In those folders, you need to put, in your red maths folder, you need to put all your previous exams. So you need to show what needs work. What are you really looking at in that assessment when you get it back? And we've just been going through it this morning. What are you looking at?
The things you got wrong.
Absolutely, the things that you got wrong, and you want to know why you got them wrong. So that's feedback. That is really valuable feedback that you need. Also, with those ones, the difference between your trial and the HSC, these exams have how many topics in them? How many, Taranjit was your last Extension 1 maths, how many topics did you have?
We only had one.
One, okay. So going back and looking at your list of things here, how many topics do you have there? Like many. They're all going to be examined. This is the only test that in fact all your topics will be examined. What you need to do is be very familiar with HSC papers, and we've put on here, this is the Board of Studies site, which is really valuable, and you girls all know that. When you click onto that, you can get access to the HSC papers, the examiner's comments. These are the people who mark the paper, who will put down things like, good students are doing this, and then they might call you, or some of the people, weaker students will do that. You want to be one of the good ones to get full marks. So nobody's going to just go and read maths. That's not going to happen. Where would be the best place to get your examples from? You know, in doing, past HSC papers. And that's even for year 11 as well, because you can pluck them out. Okay. So you need to know what the HSC is going to look like, and you've got one in front of you. You can see that basic algebra and arithmetic, question 1, differentiation and integration, question 2, and then we've got a whole pile of all of these things coming in for 3, 4, 5, 6. Why do you think I've got 8, 9 and 10 in red and on a different page? Okay, they're harder. And we know they're harder, and we're all, geared up to the fact that they are harder. But you can't just go, I'm going to just wipe 3 questions. I'm not even going to worry about them because they'll upset me. You still have to pick out the bits that are very doable, and there's very many bits that are doable in those. So here was one of my students the other day saying, oh my gosh, I've got all these formulas to learn, how will I do it? And I've just asked a few of you that. How do you learn formulas? I think, you know, Tarsine mentioned, you write them down, you just do them. Any other tips, Chloe?
I usually write like the name of the formula on like a little card and then have the formula on the back so you can kind of look at the
Oh, so you can test yourself. Okay, and that obviously works because you're getting really good marks. So everybody's got to work out what bit works for them in learning it. How many formulas do you think that you need to know? All up maybe 100? Geometry, okay. So there's quite a lot, but you're not going to necessarily write them all down. You're going to pick the ones that, in fact, you need to, you know some, you don't need to worry about them, but it's the ones that you keep maybe getting wrong that you need to write down.